Good day, love lifers. I'm hoping you guys are good like Makai because I am good too. And we're back with the 14th episode, Your Purple Couch. I'm hoping you guys are excited as I am for this episode. And as you know, guys, we're in the month of September, known to be Heritage Month, where we get to celebrate cultural diversity in South Africa. I'd like to thank our funders, the National Department of Health and the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. Abantu abasipha inyuku, guys. Thank you very much for always supporting us, standing behind us in everything that we do. And also, guys, satholakala on the socials as Love Life NGO on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Nagu YouTube satholakala as Love Life NGO. Please do like, follow, subscribe. Also, I get it, guys. And this month spot the trend, we had hashtag the Met Gala, also formerly known as the Costume Institute Gala, where celebrities get to showcase umswengo. We saw the likes of A$AP Rocky, Kim Kardashian, Kanye West, no Rihanna, beba dripa kakhulu. Guys, nimbonile o Kim Kardashian, no Kanye West, tiwake, beba gcoke ngathi bayo roba bank. Not me. And then also A$AP Rocky, but ngathi packet lamaskopas. That's not my handwriting though. But anyways, guys, beba dripa kakhulu online, beba gcokile ba showcase everything nice. Titi, shout out to their designers because they were showcasing Alice. Also on Spot the Trend, we had hashtag vaccine passport, where we saw on the socials that you guys were actually feeling as if now we're going back to apartheid, where our elders had to carry amatompas. Please share your views on the comment section below. Manje isikhathi sewere in the street and njengenjwayelo sizekini lapha estradeni sanibuza the question, do you think carrying a vaccine passport will help put an end to the spread of COVID-19? Check this out.
Hi there, my name is Vasetsana Makhaga.
My name is Nwabile Ndebele. I'm 21 years old.
I believe that a vaccination passport will be beneficial for South Africa and her people at large. But on the other hand, I do believe that a vaccine passport will not necessarily eradicate the coronavirus, as the word eradicate means to completely put to an end or put something completely to a stop. There will still be interactions between vaccinated people and non-vaccinated people.
I don't think it's a good idea. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a bad idea, but I don't think it's a good idea. Getting vaccinated does not stop you from getting the virus. So we can't necessarily say having a vaccine pass will stop the spread of the virus. It won't. Because even if you get the jab, you can still get the virus. We've seen this happen.
Involuntarily making people vaccinate through a system is wrong and therefore can cause segregation as well as hinder people's lives.
We were told that the vaccine is not compulsory. This is what we were told, that you're not forced to get the vaccine. If you don't want to get vaccinated, you don't have to get vaccinated. But that doesn't seem so true anymore, because there are places that don't allow you to go in if you're not vaccinated. In order for you to move around, there are certain places that you cannot enter without showing proof that you are vaccinated. So technically we are being forced to get vaccinated, because if we weren't being forced, think about it, if we weren't being forced, they wouldn't care who's vaccinated and who's not vaccinated. If it's okay for you to not want the vaccine, then why is it so important for you to know whether or not I'm vaccinated? It does not make sense.
This is a risk considering how fast the virus is mutating. Therefore, a vaccine passport could ultimately change the lives of South Africans as well as saving many lives. The coronavirus has reached monumental levels at this point in time, and many travelers come back to South Africa with various strands of the virus unknowingly.
Manje is Kat's exclusive interview, and we're with the lovely, the beautiful, the mentor, the doctor, the health advocate, the finalist in Miss South Africa, Dr. Moratwe Masima. Hi, Dr. Anjani.
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good. So, Doctor, I'd like to know a bit about yourself, or rather, I'd like for you to tell us a bit about yourself for people who do not know you.
Yeah. So, as you mentioned, I am a medical doctor. I'm currently working at Joburg Gen. I only started working for the past 9 months after graduating from Stellenbosch University, where I obtained my MPCHB degree. So yes, I'm doing that, and also now a top 10 finalist for South Africa, which is very exciting. I'm a young girl that literally just grew up just on the other side of Joburg. I'm from Midrand, but my family is originally from Moratwe in the Eastern Cape.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you, Xhosa?
I am Sotho.
Oh, okay. All right, so now I'd like to know, what's the love for modeling? Like, did you start at the age of like 5? Yeah, well, modeling.
Wow, not the age of 5, definitely not, because my parents were very strict.
Okay.
I started modeling in first year of university. I always wanted to, but my parents were like not excited. Yes, they were not excited about the idea of me going and doing something like that. But I thought, you know, I've achieved something in academics, which was obviously getting into medical school. I love being a doctor. I really do enjoy interacting with patients, and also just mixing the science part, because to be honest, I really was a nerd in high school. Mixing the science part and also working with people is what makes me happy about being a doctor. But I really wanted to have another creative outlet, and I think that that's what modeling does for me. It's a really nice hobby that has allowed me to really grow into my confidence and just be a more well-rounded person, because I think that it's so important to like really go into other avenues that you don't really know about. So I started in first year of university, and I started by entering my very first pageant, which was Miss Teen Western Cape. Yes, Western Cape, because I was studying in Stellenbosch. So then from then on, I then signed with a agency, and it was just amazing from then on.
That's really nice. So Manja, as we can see, you are already like on Miss South Africa top 10. I'm sure it was very difficult, but now I'd like to know, Guti, how has the journey been since from the beginning up until now? Was it top 10?
Sure. So the journey has been something that I did not expect, to be honest, because I entered very spontaneously. So I saw the call to entry video at the beginning of the year. I think it was around March. And in my mind, I'd always wanted to enter Miss South Africa at some point. I just didn't know when I would be ready for it, because I think that Miss South Africa is not only such a big platform, but it puts you on the spotlight for people to dissect you, to look at you, to some people criticize you, but a lot of people really, you know, celebrate the top 10, because we're all young women that are making a change in some way in our communities. So yeah, the journey started with me just putting in my application form, filming my entry video, and I wanted it to be as authentic and as me as possible. So I genuinely just didn't even practice it. I said it just once. Wow. I said it just once, and that was it. And I knew that, you know, if I go through, then it will be because I'm me and not because I rehearsed it or I tried. Yeah, so it was that. And then when they announced the top 30, I was surprised, but also very excited. From then on, we had interviews with the previous Miss South Africas. They're the ones who chose the top 10 based off of interviews. And I had the best time, to be honest. I was very scared, because these are women that went all the way to Miss Universe, Miss World, represented South Africa. Exactly. And I just thought to myself, you know what, let me just be, once again, myself. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to get into something and then once you're there, now you start, you know, showing your true colors if you are a different person. And lo and behold, got into the top 10. My family was exceptionally excited, especially my family from Moratwe, because for them, you know, doing something like this is completely unheard of. I don't think that no one in my family, no one in my family even either did pageants or even saw themselves in a platform like Miss South Africa. And so it has been a beautiful journey so far.
That's really good. Oh my God, saba well nami ngathi ngaba bangaba ne BBW for Miss South Africa. But anyway, I'd like to know, Ugusi, since Ugu, uyi health advocate, what advice would you like to give to a woman on how to take care of their health? You know, yeah, since we're also when we're facing the pandemic and all that, some of us get to fall in depression and all that. So now, how would you advise them to take care of their health?
Yeah. So, my goodness, you know, working with women has also been something that has really taught me so much about myself. And as for women in South Africa, you know, we go through so much. And there's a certain level of, we're a specific population group that is very disadvantaged. And I think that people don't see it until, you know, it's all the way to the end. Now we are dealing obviously with teenage pregnancy rates that are skyrocketing. And yeah, and these are as a result of a lot of factors, not only just, you know, unsafe sex practices, but socioeconomic aspects. Also COVID contributed to that. So working with young girls has really allowed me to not be able to speak to them on a face-to-face basis, and also just give them advice about the fact that, you know, it has to start from them, because it's very easy to, especially when you're young, to be naive, to be coerced into things that you don't want to, you don't understand. I think that the first thing that young women should do is to try find somebody that they can speak to. And in that way, you know, especially because we come from a family or families in South Africa where things like sex education are not spoken about whatsoever. And I know firsthand because I couldn't speak to my parents about stuff like that. And so it's very easy for young girls to then go and find out those answers by themselves. And then it always comes back in a more negative way, because they come back with, you know, infections that they don't know about. And I think that the first thing that I would advise young women to do is to make sure once again, that they do speak to somebody that they can trust, and that is a lot more knowledgeable about what they want to find out about their health from. So it could be a health practitioner, it could be a sister, it could be someone in the clinic, someone in your community. The second thing is, honestly, the best thing about our time right now is that we have social media, and being able, 100%, and you know, social media is one platform that I feel I try to use to my best ability, because it is my responsibility, not only as a medical doctor, but as a young woman that has that knowledge and that resource to share that with the rest of South Africa, because I just know how many young girls come to the hospital, 12 years old, already, you know, 5 months pregnant, and they're so far off, and also are requesting something like an abortion, which is very difficult. It's a very difficult conversation to have with them. But yeah, it just has to start from them. I know that it's a very difficult time, especially to be a woman. We've got gender-based violence, and so everything is not as a result of us. But we can control certain things, and making sure that we protect our reproductive health is one of the best ways.
So, Moratwe, I'd like to know, Uguti, since COVID, really, how has it affected you mentally?
So COVID has been something else. Yeah. I think for everybody, definitely. You know, we started 2020 on, I think, a very good note, and then just something so crazy happened out of the blue that nobody expected. So COVID for me happened during my final year of medical school, and we were actually the people that the president had said have to go back, I think during level 5.
Yes, I was about to ask you, did you go back home?
No, I did go back home, but they called us back already in level 5. I think at the time there were no flights. There was nothing, and my parents had to drive me all the way down to Cape Town because there was no other way to get back to school. And at the end of the day, they were saying that we're going to need you in the front line in about 8 months' time, so you need to finish and graduate, which was scary because we're dealing with a virus that nobody knows, especially at the time, nothing about. There were no vaccines whatsoever, and there were so many deaths, and nobody knew who was going to be affected, who was going to live. It was a very scary time, and I think that for me specifically, it affected me in the sense that there was just a level of uncertainty about, you know, what will life look like at the end of the year. will it end, will it not end, will I graduate, will I not graduate? And also we were going into the COVID wards, and at the time, being a student, you're not covered by any health insurance. You're not a worker, you're not a government worker yet, so you're technically putting yourself at risk without any level of protection. So that was scary, in addition to obviously, writing final medical school exams, which is probably the toughest exams ever. I can attest to that. So COVID did affect me really badly, but I also think that it helped me get to a point of focus because there was no distractions. There was no activities outside, no concerts, no partying. Nobody was doing anything. So I felt like, you know what, there's nothing else I can do. I just have to get this degree and know that I'm going to go out into the community and make my difference. I think that, it was hard at the beginning of this year specifically because I moved back home from Stellenbosch and I had to stay with my family. And for the first couple of months, I was working in the COVID ward, COVID ICU, and that was the second wave, which was probably one of the biggest waves where people, even young people with no comorbidities, were passing away literally every single day. So for me, I lived with my parents who both have comorbidities, and I was so stressed and anxious about, coming home and giving them COVID because I believed that I would be fine. Because I try to take care of myself as best as possible. But for them, what do you do when you take COVID home and your mom doesn't make it? You blame yourself for the rest of your life.
I find that sometimes there are no symptoms showing, not even 100%. Sure.
Yeah, so there's no way to really know how are you going to actually protect yourself and your family members or your loved ones. So it was very, very difficult. I think that in the healthcare sector right now, there's a lot of people that we're going through something called compassion fatigue as a result of COVID, Unfortunately, there's so many things where a lot of people have not been able to take breaks since last year. They've been working straight on, only because we're so short-staffed. So many healthcare workers have passed away. So many healthcare workers just can't come back to work because they're also sick themselves. So it's been a lot, but I think that, I'm very happy about the vaccinations that's happening currently. Because I do see a light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to take a while though, because I know that right now, not even, the scientists that are doing the groundwork know when exactly the pandemic is going to finish. I was reading an article that said it's going to be going on, we should expect it for the next 5 years and expect, getting booster shots frequently, like the flu vaccine, and we're just going to have to live with the virus.
That's a lot, hey? But anyways, Shem, you're not based like a cool this whole virus thing. We're not sure if we're just going out, we're just gonna catch it by the air or anything like that. But now I'd like to know, since now you're a doctor, you're a model, how do you manage to balance the two?
Yes. So I, as I mentioned, was modeling in university a lot more than I am now. When I was in university, I obviously had the privilege of being able to, you have class in the morning or you have hospital, and then I would study during a specific time and then go to the castings, and that's how I would model and that's how I'd manage my time, because that was the only way to do it. It also, though, hindered on a lot of my fun time. I didn't go out very often because I was working.
This is fun, it's okay.
I was working and my friends wouldn't understand, and I was like, guys, I have to do this because I know this is what I want to really do for myself. So this year, though, I haven't been able to really, I would say, model, quote unquote. I would say if you categorize in South Africa as modeling, maybe. How it's working right now is that I am just liaising with my HR department, honestly, and just telling them there's certain days that I'm not going to be able to be there. There's a shoot somewhere. There's a campaign I have to do with somewhere, with a brand, or the South Africa organization requires me to do something, and I just have to liaise with them in that way. That's the only way I'm dealing with it. I get this question a lot because people are like, you're always on call, and the next day we see you somewhere doing something. And the thing is, I don't sleep. That is the answer.
You don't sleep?
I would say since I've been in top 10 and been back home, I've been sleeping 4 hours every day. But that's simply because there's so much There's so much to do in one day, and then obviously I always have to be, you know, awake and alert at work, and I have to be there for my patients, and I can't just be like, okay, I'm really tired right now, I'm not gonna. Exactly. So I drink a lot of coffee, and I sleep 4 hours, and that's how I'm doing it.
Coffee though. Coffee, your hat, girl. Your
I
hat.
know, but you know, I'm taking it as in I'm going to only do this for a short period of time, and then I'm done.
All right. Okay, so now I get it, since we're rather talking about women a lot, and I'm a woman as well, so I'd like to know, how do you impact the Dream Girls Academy as they're young girls growing up? Yeah, how do you tackle all that? How do you, like, what impact do you have on them as kids growing up?
Okay, so Dream Girls Academy was something that I actually joined in 2019 when I was in 5th year of medical school in Cape Town. So how I came about the mentorship program was that I was just looking to do something outside of medicine that really was, you know, selfless and giving of myself in another way, because I think that there's so many young girls that look to the medical profession or want to get into it, but they don't know what they need to do, who they need to speak to. I know this because I was also in the same position. I'm the first doctor in my family. I didn't know who to speak to and what to do. And so I thought, okay, let me just do something that will, you know, enable the younger generation to also get to a level of fulfillment that, you know, no one else can give them. And I really believe that that's one of them is through education. So I joined it, and I was actually one of the youngest. I was the youngest on that whole mentorship program. They usually take women that are very successful and women that are already very set in their careers. I applied, and I genuinely didn't think I would get in because I was like, okay, I'm young, I haven't completed my degree, but I think it just shows that, you know, you shouldn't shortchange yourself. You shouldn't think that you're too small to do something that could impact other people. So Dream Girls was a beautiful platform for that. I was paired with a couple of girls in Kailija in Cape Town. Who wanted to go into the health sector, so not necessarily medicine specifically, but maybe wanted to become physiotherapists or wanted to go and become dentists and all of that. So how it works is that you help mentor them for that year throughout their matric year specifically. You help them you give them tools as to how to study, but also how to manage life, because life comes. And, you know, a lot of them come from such, disadvantaged backgrounds where they come from abused households, or their parents are unemployed, or they don't have money to do certain things, and that's what Dream Girls comes and helps them do. They help bridge the gap to, you know, further education, and gives them or helps them attain bursaries. It's such a beautiful program, and I think that a lot of people don't even know about it.
I was surprised to actually see it, because I mean, it's like, Dream Girls, are we singing, or what are we doing?
Yes. Oh my goodness. And what's lovely about it is that, you know, as I said, the mentors are from different spheres of careers. So you have lawyers, you've got an engineer there. They were makeup artists, people that have an array of things, because I think that people look at certain careers and think that you can only make it in that one career, or that career has more money. But I think that people need to follow what they're good at. And that's what Dream Girls does. You know, it pairs young girls who are good in the arts, graphic design, whatever it may be, and pairs them with people that have the same passions.
Oh, that's really good. So now sometimes it's good to go astray a bit from your parents' desires from you. Instead, if I want to be a designer, I'll go for that. If my mom doesn't want it, then she'll be fine. And surprisingly, later on, I'd be the bigger person from just being a designer, you know? So speaking of dreams, I'm a girl myself who has a dream, but now there are also others, I'm sure, who are like myself, who have dreams, but now do not know on how to go about their dreams. What advice would you give them on how to go about their dreams that they actually want to achieve in their lives?
So this question is very heavy, because there's so many ways to answer that. But I think that, you know, when you talk about dreams, it's very easy for it to sound like airy-fairy, like it's never going to happen. But I've always felt like when I think of a dream, I think of a goal. And I don't think of something as a dream as it's something I can't accomplish. It's something that I just firstly put down on paper, because I really believe in the power of writing something down and speaking life into what you want to do in the future, who you want to be in the future as well. that really allows you to find the smaller steps and the smaller habits to actually get to that goal. So my first advice to young girls or young boys who are also watching that want to follow a dream is to realize that you are worth it. You are enough to get to that dream. The fact that it's something that you already see yourself in means that you already have something in you that can propel you to get there. What you need to do, however, is to also be realistic about how you're going to get there and understand that things don't just happen, and things, especially if something is so important to you, you need to be willing to work harder than anyone else in the room. That's actually something that I think that I apply throughout my life, that I want to basically be the hardest working person that I know, because then no one can discount your efforts and no one can discount who you are, because they know when she walks in or when he walks in, they're going to be the hardest working person. So start by being realistic. Know that you are going to work hard and know that it's going to be difficult, because life is difficult in general. There will be challenges, 100%. I can't tell you that there's nothing that in my life that has worked out perfectly the way I always thought it would be. But in some way, it is actually better that you do have those delays and those disappointments, because you need to be a certain type of person in order for you to finally get to that dream or that goal. Because I can use a very good example as Miss South Africa. I think that if I entered Miss SA at a different time to now, I really wouldn't have had the certain level of maturity, the life experiences, the wisdom, the knowledge, the disappointments and the failure in order for me to be able to really speak and relate to other people. Because if everything goes right in your life, what story do you have, you know? So just, I want people to 100% know that your dreams are achievable, but they need to be realistic steps to get to them.
That's really good. I hope you guys know really. You need to have a realistic dream in order for you to get to it. I get it, guys. So now, I'd like to know, Guti, where can people find you on the socials? You know, just in case they want to follow you, your journey, the young model out there who wants to see you grow. Where can they catch you?
Yes. So I also do YouTube. So yeah, I'm a YouTuber. I started my YouTube channel last year during COVID. It was one of my other creative outlets where I really felt like I wanted to show the journey of a young South African woman who is in medical school during the time of COVID, and share a relatable story. Because I think that when people see doctors, they automatically think that it's easy, or you're so intelligent and you know all these things, but honestly we are probably the most real people, and also we see so much in our lives. You know, you see death, you see diseases, you see people in the most vulnerable states, that you understand how hard life can get. And so I started my YouTube channel, so they can catch me on YouTube. It is just Moratwe Masima. And then on Instagram, it is Dr. Moratwe Masima. And then, Facebook is also Moratwe Masima. Twitter, also Moratwe Masima.
All right, so now, New Zealand, guys, catch her, follow her, like her pages and all that. So now, what legacy would you like to leave, should it happen that uNkulunkulu akukhumbule?
My legacy. I want to leave a legacy of impact. I think that right now, especially, we have a society that is very me-centered, quite self-centered. The time of social media, everybody obviously wants to be seen, wants to, it's not bad being an influencer, but people are very self-centered. So I would really like to have an impact that is centered around people, because I think that when we, give of ourselves, comes back tenfold. And being able to impact a group of people, even just one person, is what my legacy would be.
That's really nice. Literally, guys, Moratwe was amazing. Moratwe, I liked you a lot.
You.
And I learned that if you want to achieve your dream, remember, be realistic with it. Thank you, Moratwe.
Thank you.
Manje isikhathi se-YBs, and we are here with Mxolisi Mbonjwa. Hi, Mxolisi, unjani?
Hello, Njani.
Good. So, Mxolisi, I'd like to know uba Mxolisi ubani, Kancane nje usdescribe kimi.
Okay. Igama Mxolisi Mbonjwa. Hlala khona la Alexander, I grew up here, and yeah, this is my studio it's called Art Flava, and welcome to my studio.
All right, thank you for ukusamukela. So I'd like to know ukuthi ithando lakho le art lisuke laphi, and also like what inspired everything that's in here.
Okay. First things first, my mom is an artist. She does beadworks and crafts. So I think I got it from her because umuntu like yenzi art endlini vele from me growing up. But when I was 11 years old, my mom used to work for a lady called Samantha, and Samantha was with a guy called Yulta Maso. And yeah, Yulta Maso introduced me to his art because I went to Samantha's house, and when I got there, I found out that actually Yulta Maso is in gallery in his house. So yeah, one day I saw the studio, and yeah, we chilled and had a chat about art, and then he saw the interest from me. Would say, okay, this boy is really interested in art. Then I got a couple of paints, couple of canvases to work in, and I was only 11 years old when that happened. So yeah, from there I never stopped doing my art. Started from there, you know. Yeah, and I've been painting since from then.
All right. So now, as an artist, what are some of the wins and challenges that you get to have, or rather you've had as the artist where you find art?
Yeah, the biggest challenge I've had as an artist was to actually strategize or build my own gallery or like my own working place, which is the studio. You know, yeah, it came with a lot of things, you know, because firstly, you know, when you just an artist, you just paint and you take your artworks, give them to agencies or galleries, and they sell them to you. But when I started trying to build something for myself and try to build an art gallery for myself, then challenges started coming, you know.
And then the wins?
Yeah. They come with that, you know. They come with that. Or like everything comes together. With what you win some, you lose some, and like it's just life going, you know. And yeah, it's just an experience for me. And it's been a great experience for me as well. Like, I've enjoyed every moment of it, you know. The fall downs, the going ups, the wins, the lose, you know.
It's actually at the end of the day.
Yeah, you know, we're just trying, you know, as artists, you know, to kind of create a direction for ourselves, you know. Yeah, which makes sense to a lot of artists now, because we grow up as artists and we thinking that going to art hubs and where art is happening is the only thing that an artist can do for himself, forgetting that you can actually start something for yourself as well.
All right, so now I'd like to know, Guti, as you know, artists they get to face mental health problems. So when I'd like to know, Guti, mental health, especially during the pandemic, affected ganjan?
The studio was built 2016, you know, and we had a nice experience of 3 years from 2016 to 2019, which was like everything was going amazingly, yeah, and then everything was going according to our plan. Nobody expected what was going to go down with the pandemic and the whole lockdown, you know. So when that came, it became we have to deal with it. But because of we have pushed from 2016 to 2019, it wasn't so bad for us to deal with. But hence the tourism is keeping quiet, you know. Our events are keeping quiet. The place was shut down for like a year, you know. Yeah, so I took that opportunity to go back and like do my artworks, paint, sit at home. You know, it was a bit hard because of the financial statements, but yeah, I picked up from that, and then yeah, I was just basically locking myself up in the studio and just working since from 2020 up until
so
now.
Next when COVID.
It was honestly, it was stressful because everything that we used to and everything that we used to do we couldn't do anymore, you know. And man, from 2016 to 2019, building this studio started giving me a recognition and umsebenzi ukuthi kwamele ngidine abantu, because this is not just a gallery, it's also a pub, so people come here and chill, you know. And for me to be here painting while there's people and all the commission, it couldn't really balance each other itself. So
need to concentrate.
Yeah, so that lockdown gap, then I dedicated to let me just do more artworks and do like fresh artworks. Half of the piece that you see here were done during the lockdown and after the lockdown, you know. Because yeah, it was for me, it was like, okay, we end the pandemic and everybody's it's at home, so there's nothing really you can do because everybody's facing it. And when you complain about something that everybody's facing, it's like, why are you complaining? Because we're all going through the same thing, you know. So yeah, I didn't want to complain about it. Hence, I was one of the first person to actually experience it. Because when this thing has started, everything that I do for a living stopped. Like my event stopped. The tourists that comes here to pick up my artwork stopped. You know, people visiting the studio stopped. So everything stopped besides me painting, you know.
Yeah, especially in the COVID nje istress abantu abaningi. Okay, so now ngiyazi ukuthi uhosta event or exhibition which is Art Fair. What inspired the name Art Fair?
The name was inspired by the name came about a friend of mine called Black Dice Mxolisi, and which is one of the people that I work with here. Actually, Mxolisi we met through the art industry. He's also a creative. He does illustrations. He's very big in town. He was a teacher at Umuzi, and yeah, Mxolisi got me here at the studio. I was trying to raise this place up, and I was trying to build it up. And because of my previous exhibition that fundraised for us to build this studio, we wanted to make this event thing become a norm, you know, selling at artworks. Because a lot of people knew that Mxolisi did an exhibition and it went big, and he made so much money that he could actually build his own art studio. So that alone, roaming around, then Mr. came and he was like, no, we can take this to another level. We have the land now, we have the studio, we have our own venue, you know. So Mxolisi came up with the name Art Fair, and then the reason behind the name was basically we wanted to collaborate with other artists, not just from LX but around Jozi as well. You know, as we've been doing, we've been collaborating with a lot of artists, and we've been collaborating with every other artist from around Jozi who's willing to collaborate with us. And because of the Art Fair, it's something that not just artists express themselves, but also fashionists, DJs, photographers, videographers, graphic designers, people that do live art come here, and everybody's just we skanganalana since the artist song. So the name itself became Art Fair because that's what Art Fair means. You know, it's art creatives and artists getting up together into one spot in one place and just doing art. You know.
All right. So yeah, I get you know, Rigo September, which is known to be the Heritage Month. So I'd like to know, Guti, as you know, Guti Heritage Month, we get to have celebrate rather different cultures. So what is it, how did monthly heritage influence your art? Yeah.
Well, I'm a Black History student, and I'm a Black History teacher. I've been doing Black History and studying it for the past 11, 12 years. And yeah, basically my paintings are based on Black history, you know, so I try to make Black people's life and Black people's lifestyle and norm, like a current thing that we can actually all live up, or like turn it into a lifestyle, if I can explain it like that. So to me, it wasn't waiting for the Heritage Month or the Heritage Week to actually express what it means to be an African, you know. And because the whole slogan say, so here's like studying Black history or learning about your culture, it's something that needs to be a norm. You need to do that every day and experience it and live with it, you know. And Black history changed my life and saved me. So I explain Black history and I teach people Black history globally. It's all about Africa, you know, and Africa as a whole.
Not just South Africans.
Yeah.
All right. So now I'd like to know, with the interaction yako with a target market yako, was it very good when you started? And then also were there people support craft yako that actually did support craft yako?
Yeah. Just to like start off things, when I brought my art gallery Alexander, and when I brought my artworks at Alexander, to say we were able to sell artworks in Alexander, but I wasn't able to sell artworks the way I used to in other places, you know, outside places where people are more familiar with the art. Because me bringing my artworks into Alex was just trying to create an awareness, building something for my community, and teaching my people what does art means, you know, because a lot of people don't really know what art means. And they always, you know, think
see a
that
drawing there, like,
like the
can just
painting
put it
is
in my
nice.
wall.
I have the same color with on my wall. I want to put a gray piece there, you know, or I need your piece to match my couch or my bedding, you know. So with me bringing my artworks here and actually having artworks that speak about Africanism, it was very easy for me to interact and teach people what to expect out of a painting or how to dedicate or relate to a piece. You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, I was utterly shocked by the tourism that came into the studio after that, and a lot of people started buying my artworks because they saw the growth in me. They saw the difference between me and other artists. You know, Mxolisi is the first artist to build an art gallery in LX. You know, he has done several exhibitions. He's doing art events for young artists in LX. You know, he has art classes. So that alone became an impact for outsiders to just collect my artworks, regardless of the background or what the pieces means. You know, just them dedicating to support me. It was something that I wasn't expecting, but it happened. You get what I'm trying to say? And I've been shifting paintings all over the world for the past 4 or 5 years of my career in this place. You see? So no, it's not even about that. It's just like, you know, about having to make other people out of your country or your out of Africa to experience what you guys are about here and what you guys trying to teach people about yourself. You know, that was amazing for me. But then, with Alexander or with Amalogishi, we still have to teach. You know, there's still a lot to be done with our people finding out what it means to have an artwork, what it means to buy pictures and artwork. You know, and I always tell my friends, you know, my artworks are expensive because I go to Sentin and I find like black people buying like Rolex, buying Gucci, you know. So if these people can afford all these things, they can afford artworks, expensive artworks. Just that they don't know what they're buying. Until they find out what they're buying and what it means, then they can actually buy it, you know? Yeah.
So now, so istudio sakho, as you're saying, ukuthi wasakha 2016. So what are the lessons that you have learned as a young person who just owned his studio, especially Ekas?
It's like I said, it's been a great experience for me to actually be the first person or the first youth, if I may say, to actually come up with such an incredible idea for Alexander. And you know, when I started this, I thought I'm gonna build this here, but I know I'm gonna have to go outside and and outsource people that really understand what the studio is. But funny enough, a lot of people here in Alexander have been waiting for this thing. So I've kind of shifted at the thinking of the people around my community, because you know, I grew up here, I was born here, grew up here in Alexander, from my primary to my high school. So nothing is expected from people like us. I'm a fan of Alexander, you know. So when I started this place, this whole area was just a dumping, you know. And we started by cleaning up the spot, you know, and a lot of people didn't know why we were cleaning up the spot and the space. And some of the people that helped us clean up the spot, they didn't know, because, you know, I was putting my money into it. I bought people food, I bought drinks for them, like I was chilling, played music. Then we were cleaning. We were like, what's going on? And I'm like, studio. So Studio son, like, I'm rapper. I'm like, no, I'm gonna build an art studio, you know. Like, art studio. And then the Wendy House came after the first exhibition. We took the funds from the first exhibition that we did at Art Carpet, which was an amazing event, and that was my first exhibition in LX. Introducing myself as an artist in LX made me 35 to 40 grand in one night. It was a Sunday. We had big people there in the exhibition. We had people like Kenny Kunene coming to check out artworks. We had people like Sam Ramezi, who offered us a maximum of 15 grand, you know, just to say, I like what you guys are doing here and what you guys are doing here. It's amazing. Naimali, move on forward to whatever you guys want to do with it, you know. And when I came back, I told my mom about it. She didn't believe it, and she asked me, "What are you gonna do? Are you gonna build your own room?" Because you know, Alexander, we have this. I'm from room. I wanna buy a car. So, but to me, it was, I wanna build an art studio for Alex. You know.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
So before ngizohamba ne, I'd like to know ukuthi kulama piece lawo awunawo live students sakho, which lesson can you give me, or rather what are the lessons that you can give me with one of your pieces?
Oh, okay.
Pieces, nothing cool, man, okay.
Yeah. So just behind me, there's one piece that I'm working on.
Yeah.
And yeah, this piece is based on balance. You know, we were just going through what is called my art, and my art is basically what people call balance. And the opposite of my art is isfet, meaning unbalanced. But what black people were talking about in terms of balance, they were talking about what people call yin yang, good and bad, night and day. So we have like the planet Earth, and we have the day, and we have the night. You know, and that's basically what life is. It's based on balance. So everything comes from balance. You get what I'm trying to say? Like everything is getting reproduced by balance. So I'm a male, you're a female, we create balance. And once we're together, then you can produce a baby. That's an evidence of you and balance. So that's the way of life, you know. So when we studied my art, then I did this piece, 3 figures of women showing people what life is: the sun, the moon, and the planet Earth. The reason why 3 females is because of women to Africans are always storytellers. So these women are telling us the story, you know. So these women are telling us the story, and they're showing us, which, okay, life is basically based on balance. You get what I'm trying to say? And once you understand balance, you understand nature, you know. Hence, inside the piece, that's what we call the coffin texture. I don't know if a lot of people know about it, but if you study Kemet or Egyptian hieroglyphs, you find what they call the coffin texture. And the coffin texture has people with animals' faces and animals' head. And that just shows you that people back in the days, they studied nature to create balance, to create understanding, and understand that each and everything is interconnected.
For something to be there, we need something here.
Yeah, hence all other Africans believe that there's one God, and they believe in one God because they believe that there's only one person who created everything. That's why everything is into balance.
So yeah, I'd like to know, so, on the socials, where can people find you? Maybe bangaba interested so that bangaba draw njengami, so
yeah, the page on Instagram is called Art Flava. Yeah, that's where I usually post what's about to happen to the studio, what's happening, what I've done, the pieces that I've made. And for my events, I'm running a page called Art Flava on Facebook. Okay. Yeah, and basically I'm Mxolisi Mbonjwa on social media as well. You can check me out. I have a blog. You can go just Google me. It will give you my company name. Find some of the best things that I did in my career, because the blog itself still needs to be updated and uploaded. You know, more stuff onto it. You know, hence, yeah, we start working on everything. You know, and me, not just being an artist, but being a guy that also owns a pub where creatives not just comes there for events, but come there to chill. And I have like art classes for kids. It's just a whole little portfolio that is scattered. But as soon as you take all of it and you put it down, you see how much work we've done as an art studio, and or as an art gallery, or as art flavor. You know, yeah.
All right, so Mxolisi, it was nice being with you. Ngifundile kakhulu nge-art yakho ukuthi i-art, it's not just i-art by liking a picture and picking it up and go putting it in your house or your room, but it goes far from just that. So it was really nice chatting with you. I enjoyed every moment. So guys, this was Mxolisi Mbonjwa. Check him out kuma socials, page yakhe uzishilo zonke. And from me, Nkandla, I get a bon Mxolisi mo.
September has been a beautiful month of heritage. The Department of Sports, Arts and Culture capped it off in style by hosting the Indigenous Games Festival in KwaZulu-Natal. Diketo, Dibeke, Intonga, you name it. It was all going down as provinces battled it out in the various Indigenous Games, which highlights the richness of our heritage as South Africans. Which game was your favorite when growing up? Let us know on our socials. In December 2014, the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture declared the first Friday of October each year as the National Recreation Day. Friday, the 1st of October 2021, marks the annual National Recreation Day. the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture encourages you to get active on that day. Take a walk, a jog, or even yoga. This year, join us at Loftus Stadium in Pretoria as it will be buzzing. When Moonchild said, "Naile walk," you really loved it, didn't you? Well, it's almost that time again to show us your walk. On Sunday, the 3rd of October, we are getting warmed up for the annual The Big Walk. Can you walk the walk? Isaacdale Stadium is a place to be where you can play with other kids. Ushaye iwalk yomhlaba. Let's close it off with making sure we diarize this major one. Izinja zethu, Bafana Bafana, will be playing the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers at the FNB Stadium on the 12th of October. We are behind our boys every step of the way. Make sure you are vaccinated so you can show support to our boys on the day.
Now we've come to the end of our show, and I'd like to thank each and every guest that came through today. Ngithi siyabonga kakhulu for coming through, and I enjoyed every moment with each and every one of you. And I must say, I've learned quite a lot from each and every one of you. I got to learn ukuthi art is very important, and you should not just look at it as something that you can easily admire and put it next to your couch because of the color. And I've got to learn that your dreams are important, and you should take realistic steps in order for you to reach to those dreams. And also, I'd like to thank our funders, the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, and the National Department of Health for always being with us and supporting us in everything that we do. Sisabonga kakhulu, singaba yinje ngaphandle kwenu. And don't forget to connect and the socials as Love Life NGO on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Nagu YouTube satolagala as Love Life NGO. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Don't be sad though, guys. We're going to be bringing you more great stuff on the next episode. Ngithi new guest. So please do be excited to see more great people on the show. From me, Unhlanhla Wakadube, Duwelimtende, Umtimu Nyamatani, we out.